Currently, the Maneuver Center of Excellence Band, with its 6 performing groups, accomplishes over 400 missions a year, supporting the military and civilian communities in and around Fort Benning. The band is proud to serve and lives by the Maneuver Center of Excellence motto, "One Force, One Fight." Ladies and gentlemen, your United States Army Maneuver Center of Excellence Band. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The ceremony will begin in 5 minutes. Before the ceremony begins, we ask that you silence all electronic devices and please refrain from smoking during the ceremony. Distinguished guests, friends, and family members of Charlie Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, and Charlie Company, 1st Battalion, 50th Infantry Regiment, on behalf of Major General Colin Tooley and Command Sergeant Major Brian Haight of the United States Maneuver Center of Excellence, and Brigadier General Jim Kiersey and Command Sergeant Major Christopher Donaldson of the United States Army Infantry School, and Colonel Brendan Fitzgerald and Command Sergeant Major Frank Enriquez of the 198th Infantry Brigade, we welcome you to today's graduation ceremony. Thank you for taking the time to share this great day with us. Before we start today's ceremony, would the veterans in the audience please stand? Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in a round of applause for these veterans who have kept our country free in times of peace and conflict. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, honored veterans, and members of the proud infantry family, today we stand together to honor the courage, sacrifice, and unwavering dedication by the United States Army Infantry. As we gather to celebrate this graduation, we reflect on the heritage of a force that has not only shaped the history of our nation, but has also preserved its freedom one battlefield at a time. From its inception on June 14, 1775, the infantry has stood as the backbone of our Army. Whether storming the beaches of Normandy, trudging through the frozen mountains of Korea, patrolling the jungles of Vietnam, and combating the global war on terror, the infantry soldiers have borne the brunt of battle with valor and resilience. They have secured the victories that carved our republic, reunited a divided union, and defended democracy around the globe. To the next generation of infantry soldiers, we look to you to carry forward this proud legacy. You embody the Army's core values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and impersonal courage. The challenges of the 21st century demand not only physical strength, but also the intellect and adaptability to navigate cyber threats, complex geopolitics, and modern battlefields. The purpose of today's ceremony is to recognize the commitment of the soldiers in formation today who have chosen to serve their country as infantry soldiers. This review is the last official formation of the training cycle. Not everyone successfully completes this difficult period of training, but those in formation today represent disciplined, motivated, and physically fit soldiers who exemplify the Army's 7 core values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. Ladies and gentlemen, during the next few moments, there will be loud noises and smoke from the use of pyrotechnics. On the far side of the parade field, the World War II Company Street serves as a constant reminder of the time-honored traditions and values of America's greatest generation, those infantry soldiers who walk before us. In just a few moments, out from the past will emerge our country's next greatest generation, today's infantry warrior. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Infantry Rifle Squad, the foundation of the Army's decisive force and the embodiment of the warrior ethos. Infantry soldiers have the most challenging job of any member of the armed forces. They carry the fight to the enemy around the world. They are the standard bearer for all the armies of the world, leading by example in the fight to defend freedom against ruthless terror. With increased firepower and lethality of today's weapons, every infantry soldier must be trained to standard in over 200 tasks to defeat our enemies on any battlefield. The infantry soldiers graduating today are accomplished marksmen, able to engage the enemy day and night. They understand how to shoot, move, and communicate as a team. They are adaptable warriors who can fight as a mounted force from Strykers or Bradleys, from the sky as airborne or air assault, and whose training is the basis for our elite special operations warriors. Most importantly, they are patriots who in a time of war raise their right hand in sworn oath to God and country, to defend the Constitution of the United States against any enemy. If called upon to fight building to building in urban terrain, to clear the ridges of mountains, or to deliver aid and provide security in areas stricken with natural disaster, these warriors make the difference in defending our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, the Infantry Rifle Squad. The squad is led by a staff sergeant. They are armed
Follow me!
with an M7 rifle. The M7 rifle is the latest evolution of service rifle, utilizing improved ambidextrous controls and the 6.8 by 51 Fury cartridge that is designed to defeat the latest in adversary body armor. The squad has 2 fire teams. Each fire team is led by a sergeant. They are also armed
Follow me!
with an M7 rifle. This rifle is fully modular with an integrated receiver rail system that can mount the M157 fire control optic, infrared laser designator used to engage targets at night. Each fire team has 1 automatic rifleman. They are armed
Follow me!
with an M250 squad automatic weapon. This system replaces legacy systems, providing improved firepower with a sustained rate of fire of 600 rounds per minute and weighing 6 pounds lighter than the previous weapon system, the M249 squad automatic weapon. Each fire team has 1 grenadier. They are armed with an M7 rifle and an M320 grenade launcher. It fires a variety of 40mm grenades to include high explosive, illumination, colored smoke, and buckshot. The M320 provides an invaluable indirect fire capability to the infantry squad. The remaining soldier in each fire team is the rifleman. They are armed with an M7 rifle and an M136 AT-4 anti-tank launcher. The AT-4 fires an 84mm shaped charge capable of defeating up to 14 inches of rolled homogeneous steel and breaching bunkers or masonry walls in urban structures. Additionally, each one of these soldiers is wearing the integrated head protection system with the AN PVS-14 monocular night vision device. This night vision device allows the soldiers to see in low or no light conditions, coupled with the laser designator on their weapon. They can also place effective fire on all targets at night. On their torso, they are wearing the 2nd generation modular scalable vest, MSV, which consists of forward armor plates capable of stopping small arms fire and fragmentation. Additionally, they are wearing ballistic eye protection and a water hydration system. Ladies and gentlemen, all members of today's rifle squad are from Charlie Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment. This is the modern-day warrior, armed and equipped to fight and win anywhere, anytime, in any type of terrain against any enemy. These infantry soldiers are trained and ready to defend our country and preserve our way of life. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in a round of applause for the United States Army Infantry Rifle Squad. Ladies and gentlemen, now returning to the parade field is United States Army Maneuver Center of Excellence Band, led by Drum Major First Sergeant Jeffrey Taylor and commanded and directed by Warrant Officer Lauren Assad. Ladies and gentlemen, now marching onto the parade field are the infantry soldiers from Charlie Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, and Charlie Company, 1st Battalion, 50th Infantry Regiment. The company commander for Charlie Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, is Captain Thomas Weatherall, and the company first sergeant is First Sergeant Ryan Clark. The company commander for Charlie Company, 1st Battalion, 50th Infantry Regiment, is First Lieutenant Thomas Little, and the company first sergeant is First Sergeant Matthew Hoyt. The commander of troops for today's ceremony is First Lieutenant Ethan Hull, Executive Officer of Charlie Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the arrival of the official party. 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment Chaplain will offer the invocation.
Good morning. Please join me in prayer if you feel led to do so. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, I come before you with a heart of gratitude on this very special day that commemorates 18 weeks of hard work and dedication, none of which would be possible without your love, your grace, and your strength. I ask that you watch over these soldiers as we send them out from Fort Benning. Be with them and give each and every one of them wise and discerning hearts and minds, that they may know good from evil and that they would always choose what is good. Let them be beacons of light in a dark world. Lord, I ask that you bless these infantrymen. Bless the United States Army. And Lord, I pray that you bless the United States of America. It is in your holy name that I pray. Amen.
The official party for today's ceremony consists of the 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Ryan Feeney, and the Battalion Command Sergeant Major, Daniel Rabideau.
Down, present, arm. Sir, command forward. Conduct today's ceremony.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Down, order, arm. First, be honoring colors. Center. March. Sir, persons to be honored in colors are present. At the command. Down, present, arm. Detachment, present, arm.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the national anthem. Gentlemen, if you are not in uniform, please remove your headgear. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Order! March! Down, order, arms, and parade, rest!
The infantry soldiers graduating today come from many parts of the United States. The flags of the 50 states and 6 territories displayed at the museum symbolize the broad base of our national defense. The companies standing before you have conducted a turning blue ceremony because blue is the color of the infantry. This ceremony culminated with each graduating soldier receiving the coveted symbols of an infantry soldier: the cross rifle insignia with blue background discs and the blue infantry cord. Turning blue signifies the rite of passage of these soldiers to carry on finest traditions of the infantry. The infantry cross rifles, blue disc, and blue cord mark these soldiers as qualified to be the finest soldiers in the world, United States Army infantry soldiers. The soldiers most responsible for the training of these infantry soldiers are the drill sergeants, who the Department of the Army carefully selects. The drill sergeant campaign hat and badge have been a stoic symbol of professionalism and pride since 1962. At this time, the drill sergeant of the cycle for Charlie Company, 1st Battalion, 50th Infantry Regiment, Drill Sergeant Daniel Lopez, will recite the Drill Sergeant Creed.
Drill Sergeant Creed. I am a drill sergeant. I will assist each individual in their efforts to become a highly motivated, well-disciplined, physically and mentally fit soldier, capable of defeating any enemy on today's modern battlefield. I will instill pride in all I train, pride itself, in the Army, and in country. I will insist that each soldier meets and maintains the Army standards of military merit and courtesy, consistent with the highest traditions of the U.S. Army. I will lead by example, never require a soldier to attempt any task I will not do myself. But first, last, and always, I'm an American soldier, sworn to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. I am a drill sergeant. That's well defined.
At this time, the official party will present the awards. Each drill sergeant of the cycle will receive the Army Commendation Medal, and each distinguished honor graduate will receive the Army Achievement Medal. Receiving the Drill Sergeant of the Cycle Award from Charlie Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, is Drill Sergeant Jun Koo from Long Beach, California. The Distinguished Honor Graduate from Charlie Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment is Private Rob McKay from San Diego, California. Private McKay's follow-on assignment is the Ranger Assessment Selection Program at Fort Benning, Georgia. Receiving the Drill Sergeant of the Cycle Award from Charlie Company, 1st Battalion, 50th Infantry Regiment is Drill Sergeant Daniel Lopez from Los Angeles, California. Drill Sergeant Lopez's spouse, Stephanie, is being presented a bouquet of flowers in recognition of the constant support given to their spouse. The Distinguished Honor Graduate from Charlie Company, 1st Battalion, 50th Infantry Regiment is Private Bradley from Louisiana. His follow-on assignment is Ranger Assessment and Selection Program at Fort Benning, Georgia. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in giving these fine soldiers a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Ryan Feeney.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce today's guest speaker, former Infantry OSIC Commander and current Deputy Commandant for the U.S. Army Infantry School, Colonel Stephen McGinnis.
Good morning, distinguished guests, and good morning to the newest members of our United States Army family. To every parent, sibling, grandparent, spouse, and all other loved ones in the stands, you have carried the weight of separation. You have traveled from every corner of this country to sit melting on this fine Georgia morning, just waiting for the moment when you can finally embrace your soldier again. Thank you, and welcome to the Army family. I'd also like to start by giving an appreciation and a round of applause for the MCOE band. You bring a touch of class to every event that we do. I would also like to acknowledge the legacy of those who went before us. So for all the military veterans in our audience today, thank you. Thank you for holding the line. Thank you for setting the standard and for inspiring these young warriors on the parade field. You showed them what is possible, and today they follow in your footsteps. Now, look out onto that field. Take a long, hard look. What you see assembled before you is the noblest cross-section of our great nation. These new infantrymen, alongside the drill sergeants and the company cadre who forged them, represent the very best of America. They are the vanguard, a select few, representing the smallest fraction of our population, who have stepped forward to guard the great wall of our national defense. And as arrogant as this might sound to some, it is what makes them better than the average young citizen. Not better in a material or conceited way, but better as it relates to doing something noble and worthwhile. There are two kinds of men who walk this earth, men of action and all others. What stands before you today are men of action. Just over 5 months ago, these young men were living ordinary lives, watching the chaotic, brutal realities of a turbulent world unfold through the screens of their phones. And while others kept on scrolling, these soldiers did something extraordinary. They raised their right hands, swore an oath, and volunteered for the crucible of the United States Army Infantry. That decision tells you everything you will ever need to know about their character. It speaks of their heart. At a time when our society constantly coaxes people toward the path of least resistance, these men chose the hardest, most demanding route available. And this is what makes them better than most. I also want to take a moment to directly address a special group of people standing in formation. To the 31 soldiers who were not born on American soil, but who made the deliberate, honorable choice to come to our great country the right way and then step forward to defend it. Never forget that America, at its core, we're a nation of immigrants, forged by those who left everything familiar behind to build a better life. You looked to this nation and saw what so many generations before you have seen, the shining city upon a hill. You affirm that the American dream is not just a hope, but an ideal worth standing on the front lines to protect. Welcome to the United States Army, welcome to the infantry, and know that we are fiercely proud to stand beside you on your journey to citizenship. To all the mothers, to all the mothers, fathers, spouses, and loved ones, you have undoubtedly spent the last 18 weeks worrying. You might have wondered if your soldier made the right decision. Let me tell you definitively, they did. Do not let the cynics, the online commentators, or the Blame America First crowd ever convince you otherwise. We are not a perfect nation, but we are undeniably the single greatest force for good on the face of this earth. And we earned that title in large part through the blood, sweat, and sacrifice of the American soldier. These young men are the ones who hold the line so that others can sleep peacefully under a blanket of freedom. Be damn proud of the warriors standing before you who have sworn an oath to defend this nation. They carry this burden because history has proven that freedom is never secured by signatures on a piece of paper. When the policymakers finish their debates, when negotiations cease, and when orders are finally given, it is the infantry that executes national policy. We can position aircraft carriers off of any coast. We can fly strategic bombers overhead. But it is only when the boots of the American infantry hit the ground that our enemies realize they've made a grave mistake. A civilian does not become a soldier by accident. This brigade builds lethal, resilient soldiers. And every warrior on this field shares a single, invaluable common denominator. They were molded by the most dedicated, passionate, and relentless drill sergeants. Soldiers, your drill sergeants and commanders did not take it easy on you. They push you to your limits and sometimes beyond your perceived limits because they know the ruthless reality of the modern battlefield. They did not learn our trade from textbooks and theories. They learned it by training in the mud, deserts, jungles, urban environments, and for some, in the unforgiving fire of combat. They know that this profession is deadly serious, and they refuse to let you be unprepared. That is why your training had to be demanding. That is why you ran until your lungs screamed for air, why you marched endless miles under heavy loads, and why you learned to master your weapon in the darkness. To the drill sergeants, cadre, and leaders, thank you. You are the absolute masters of your craft, and you have fulfilled our most sacred duty, ensuring these men are ready to fight, survive, and win on the battlefield. Soldiers, today you join a unique tribe that is the infantry. Today you become forever bonded to those who stormed the beaches of Normandy, hunted the enemy in the jungles of Vietnam, parachuted into Panama, twice dismantled a country's army, and subdued our enemies across the globe for decades. You're stepping onto a complex, lethal, multi-domain battlefield. You will face threats from drones in the sky, ever-evolving technology, and near-peer adversaries intent on testing our resolve. But remember this fundamental truth. No matter how advanced the technology gets, wars are still won and will always be won in the last 100 yards. As you leave Fort Benning and move on to your first units, carry this forward with you. Suck it up when things get hard, because they will get harder. Keep your weapons clean, your mind sharp, and be a good teammate. Never forget the family that got you here. Call your mom, call your dad, write your spouse, because they will never stop worrying. Look out for your battle buddy. When the chaos of combat closes in, the people to your left and right are all that matter. You fight for them, and they fight for you. Physical fitness and mastery of your craft are the coin of the realm in combat. Approach both as a lifelong journey and not a temporary destination. America is relying on you. You are the sword and the shield of this great nation. Stand tall and be fiercely proud to be called a grunt. And always remember that on the battlefield, it is infinitely better to deliver the blow than receive it. I am the infantry. Follow me.
Detachment, post. Park.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Soldier's Creed is the standard for all soldiers to live by. The Soldier's Creed helps soldiers understand that despite their very diverse backgrounds, all soldiers are warriors and members of a team. We invite all soldiers, both past and present, to stand and join the soldiers of the cycle in the Soldier's Creed.
The Soldier's Creed!
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Sir, the infantry soldiers of Charlie Company, 2nd Battalion, Infantry Regiment and Charlie Company, 1st Battalion, 50th Infantry Regiment are fully trained and prepared to take their places in infantry units around the world. Pass and review. Pass and review.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the soldiers pass to your front, we invite you to take pictures, but please remain in your seats. When the American flag passes to your front, we ask that you rise and that gentlemen remove your headgear. Once the American flag has passed your location, you may be seated. Additionally, we ask that you please remain in the stands until the band has completely left the field and the playing of the Army song. The commander of troops for today's ceremony is First Lieutenant Ethan Hull from Charlie Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment. Now approaching the reviewing stand is the Maneuver Center of Excellence Band, led by Drum Major First Sergeant Jeffrey Taylor and commanded and directed by Warrant Officer Lauren Assad. Charlie Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment is commanded by Captain Thomas Wetherell from Leesburg, Virginia. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 1st Platoon is Sergeant First Class Anthony Warner from Clarksville, Tennessee. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 2nd Platoon is Staff Sergeant Jaron Frierson from Lake City, South Carolina. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 3rd Platoon is Staff Sergeant Zachary Fish from Kerwinsville, Pennsylvania. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 4th Platoon is Staff Sergeant Jonathan Folk from New Orleans, Louisiana. The First Sergeant for Charlie Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment is First Sergeant Ryan Clark from Orange County, California. The Color Sergeant is Staff Sergeant Ethan Shandamar from East Wenatchee, Washington. Charlie Company, 1st Battalion, 50th Infantry Regiment is commanded by First Lieutenant Thomas Little from Cumming, Georgia. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 1st Platoon is Senior Drill Sergeant Devontae Curry from Detroit, Michigan. The Senior Drill Sergeant from 2nd Platoon is Senior Drill Sergeant Ryan Gomerdinger from Parker, Colorado. The Senior Drill Sergeant from 3rd Platoon is Senior Drill Sergeant Hyunyao Kim from Provo, Utah. The Senior Drill Sergeant from 4th Platoon is Senior Drill Sergeant Austin Klima from Rapid City, South Dakota. The First Sergeant for Charlie Company, 1st Battalion, 50th Infantry Regiment is First Sergeant Matthew Hoyt from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as the Maneuver Center of Excellence Band plays the Army song. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the 198th Infantry Brigade Commander, Colonel Brendan Fitzgerald, and the Brigade Command Sergeant Major Frank Enriquez, we thank you for attending today's graduation ceremony. You may now join your soldier in the formation area in front of the museum. As you exit the parade field, please stay off the grass. Have a safe journey home. Follow me.